let's see, because this is kind of tight circumstances, I might decide to start wearing that RZ a little bit while I'm doing it. We'll find out. You know, I'm not trying to look like a ninja too much, but it might be the safest thing for me to do. Anyway, I hope everybody's having a good morning. We're going to try to make this, we don't have much time today because we got to go up there to the Pirate Festival and finish the day out there. But of course, I want to make something Sunday morning. You got to keep up with the algorithm. That's just the way it is. And so get in here and make some stuff. Hope everybody's doing pretty good. What's going on, Joe? Glad to see you. Heck yeah. What do you think, Joe? Kung Fu? Whoa. I don't know. I think it's going to get to that point, but I'm going to start out without it. But anyway, hope you're doing pretty good. Let's see else. Hey, Cheech, what's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Heck yeah. So we're going to make a deer. A little buck deer flat piece out of this red oak. And see how it comes out. Hopefully I don't hit none of the screws, but most of them are down here. There's one up in here somewhere, but there'd just be a little bit of curvature there, and that's it. So it shouldn't be too bad. And this antlers is kind of wonky, but that's really about the best you can do with a piece like this and a turn. I mean, I don't know what else you would do, but it looks pretty good. Hey, Plywood, what's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Heck yeah. I'll have to get with you about that piece of wood. Actually, I need to email you and give you my phone number. But anyway, all right, I'm going to get started, get the saw running. We'll see if we can't cut this little thing out of here. It's going to be, leave the wood as it is, bring him out of it while we'll still be in the piece. So relief carving. Sometimes they can be like me, I don't really feel like getting out of bed in the morning. It's almost too dark. Some deer hunters, and I might be this way sometimes, so that's why I can say this and I can relate. Some deer hunters might be flipping by and, hey, look at that, that's a nice buck. That guy's carving a nice, look at that buck, man, it's nice. It's got a split brow on one side, it's got a drop tine on the other. Man, it's amazing. I don't know, I would do that.
So far, I got this where this beam comes over these pieces, cut that back a little bit, and all this section in here, I'm just going to have to work it out, cut it out to emphasize it somewhat and blend it out away. And that'll take some time and some muscle, but it is what it is. It'll be worth it in the end. I mean, you can already see the antlers coming out of it. It's pretty good. Hey, if you haven't already, hit that like button. Let's see who we got. Hey, Ray and Sandy, what's going on? Delvin, what do you know? Glad to see you, buddy. Okay. All right, I'm going to keep rocking, guys. Shut up and giving him this little neck. You can see this line here. And I'm like, it's kind of a sissy deer. Let's give him a little bit more neck than that.
out. I'll get some kind of separation, dig the neck out just a little bit. I don't want to get too carried away with it, but at the same time, I need to take some depth there. And then start digging all this stuff out from around it to make a deer come out of the part. At least that's the plan. All right, let's see who else we got here real quick. Hey, so what is it, 69? Yeah, what works for really? I don't know. I can't read it. Okay, anyhow, it's kind of hard. But hey, well, you got to be careful here or you might get the Diddy party. If you like the subject matter, like I like deer hunting, I like deer watching, I like deer about everything. Um, it's not like pumpkins, you know. I mean, just being honest, I've never had anything made of a pumpkin, and I've eaten my entire life, and I've tried a lot because I have a wife who's a pumpkin connoisseur. It's pretty tough if you hate pumpkins. I've never had anything pumpkin where I could say, man, I can't wait to eat that again. That has never happened in my life, and it never will. Why? I don't like pumpkins. So I can't get excited about carving them either. You know, it's just the way it is. You know, carved pumpkins. I get excited about carving them. getting him dug out, and I like it. I just like this whole section rough. You know, if you were wondering, well, why didn't I just dig it out there? I'm not planning on really sanding all this that hard anyway. I like having that little chipped look that the saw gives it. I think it just makes it look better, bottom line. But anyway, appreciate y'all being here. And let's see who we got here so far. We got Matthew. What's going on, buddy? Glad to see you. Heck yeah. He's the only one I hadn't seen yet. Dad. I hadn't seen Dad either. What's going on, Dad? And then Rama, how's it going? All right, glad to have you pop in. Okay, well, I'll keep going with this guy. And like I said, guys, I don't have that much time today. So, heck, we ain't even been on here 20 minutes. And that's a heck of it. I'm about done with this. It is what it is. Pull out another one, right? But yeah, I want to cut that eye. And really, I mean, saw work will be done, and there ain't much. There isn't much to do here with the flat, sanding and that stuff either. So this one won't take that long. I can move on to something else. Okay, let me get this saw started. Haven't started this one yet. Come on, baby. Really, I'm looking at it, and I just need to use the eye tool and dig that out with the burr because there's not really a lot there that you can do with it. So it is what it is. Okay. Set this thing over here so I can fill and pull out a burr, and I'll be darned if I don't have a. Yeah, that's about right. The one I already had in my die grinder for the eye. Let me do that because you put the eye in, they really pop. And I'm opening this curtain a little bit. Let's see what fumes get out of here. Let's see, I had the table saw plugged in earlier this morning. Hope everybody's doing pretty good. I gotta go back up here to this pirate festival. I gotta be back up there and open at 11. And I'll tell you, I just after hanging out around pirates for a couple of days, I ain't too fond about pirates. You know, I mean, yeah, I mean, there's some things you could say. You know what I mean? And I don't know. It's mainly the makeup and the wearing the fake swords and all that. It's just kind of, it seems awful silly. I don't know. Heck yeah. Okay. Now I got a pointy burr here. I'm gonna pull out. It blows my mind how hot them manpaw eye tools get. Man, they really get hot. And it's kind of, you can't set them on no plastic, that's for sure. Okay, let me put the RZ on, just to be safe. What the heck? Where's she at? I had it. There it is. Okay. I knew it was here somewhere. Let's see. But yeah, you know what? It's just like everything starts coming to life once you put the eye on there. At least that's my opinion. I don't know how well it can be seen. It looks like it can be seen pretty well on the screen there. It really makes it come to life. Okay. Alright, keep my glasses from fogging up. Actually, do I have safety glasses in here? I kind of rather go, if I can find them. So I had a pair out here and had a pair in there. And I used the pair in there. Oh, here they are, yeah. Yeah, I'm going to be closer to it. I think this is going to help me see better, actually. That's why I'm wanting to wear it. Okay. do you think a deer would think if it was here? I don't know. Maybe walk like an Egyptian? I don't know. Walk like an Egyptian. The boss lady say, yeah, that's it. That's it. Okay, get this thing back on. Get some nose out of here. Alright, that's good. I mean, it's kind of hard to see there, but it fits back in there. So I got to give some detail around the antler and separate this one. I guess not even separated. The ear, there needs to be kind of a line there to differentiate that as well. I guess this is separated. Okay, next move. Black disc. I already got it out. But it ain't too bad. That's all about done already. And these little pieces, I mean, they don't, I don't know how much time I got in this so far. By the time I painted it, I might have an hour and a half out of it. And you can get 60 or 80 bucks out of it, no problem. All right, finger sander. It's almost done. By the time I get done with the finger sander, it should be done. Hopefully I don't slip and fell because I keep forgetting to get more. I'm on the last one I got. But coming out pretty good, I think. Not too bad, not too good. Somewhere in the middle. Hopefully the boss lady's car don't steal my audio, which could happen. it's like John Wayne said, life is hard. It's even harder if you're stupid. That looks pretty good. I'm gonna blow it off and burn it. That is the plan. And then I don't know. I'll just hit the side if I think I got time to make something else or not. Something else little. Where the heck's my blower at? Oh, no, that's not it. Maybe if I put my regular glasses back on, I'll see it. That's the way it goes. I don't know why. Tools do like to hide from me sometimes. It is not in here. What the heck? I never take that thing out of here, so I don't know why it wouldn't be. I guess you'll have that too. And I know I took it out. If I can't find it, then I know I took it out. How about that? I'll just blow it off with gas. The heck with it. I got an air compressor in here too, but I don't want to wait for that thing to build up. Let's see, how long we been on here? 50 minutes. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'll just blow it off with gas and burn it. It'll be fine. I'm gonna have to switch torches though. I got the Super Fire Kaboom on the turbo on there right now, and I'm not gonna need that kind of gas. All right, let's see. This dude on. Clean him up. I'll tell you what, I can't really do it. I got to get that or a broom. And I knew my broom was in there. I said, oh, here, just use this big one. The one I use to clean the floor up with anyway. So I work on a concrete pad. That's part of my driveway that I built this building on. And to work out of. And so it's real easy to clean. I mean, you know, I'm on concrete, sweep it up. There's fields in front of my house, and I take the sawdust and spread it out in the field real good so it don't affect the farmers in any way. It's looking pretty good, I think. We'll bring him out with these antlers, kind of clean or with his fire. I don't know, he's going to be painted, so actually when I put the fire to it, it might not be as good, actually. So here, before I do that, close up look. That's what we got. Looking all right. Not too bad. Not too good. Somewhere in the middle. It's the first time I ever relief carved a deer. Actually, that's the first time I've ever carved a deer. How about that? Never made one. Come on, baby. It's going to be painted, so you're looking at it, oh, you make it too dark. Not really. I'm just trying to burn the little fuzzies off the ball. And this amount of heat will actually shrink and shape, and it has an effect of smoothing out even beyond what I did with the electric tools. But this is a piece of dry red oak. Here, we'll blacken the nose since it's already a little black anyway, just to make it look a little better. How about that? It's a piece of really dry red oak, and I thought it'd be a lot harder to carve. It's actually pretty enjoyable on these relief carvings to carve it. You put the saw in, it is harder, but that's the thing. You put the saw in, and you got to press to screw it up. So I guess that's the upside to it, being a harder wood like that. I want to see in that eye. I actually just forgot all about it. I want to see in that eye if I could take and seeing that right there in the front of the eye. I just wasn't paying attention and missed it. It's not too bad, you know. Heck, that burn actually makes it look better if I took the time to clean it up today. And I don't know. Yeah, I might as well. Let's see, mask. Where is he at? I'll go back to sand. And I mean, that was a ton of dust coming off that dude. But I definitely need to have it.
Remember, I get on there, I'll probably go like 80 on 675. Yeah, it's you know how.
Hey, retard! It's on the thing.
That's all right. Especially that eye. I mean, that made all the difference in the world. I was missing something there that I really didn't want to miss. I can't right down to it. I'll brush this thing off again. Big broom. Nothing wrong with that. But by the time you painted, you won't be able to tell. There are a few pieces. Let's see. Am I happy with the burn though? I think so. I could darken in the bases of the ears. It's going to be painted anyway, so I don't know why I'm worried about it. Turn that off and pull it over here. And then what kind of time we got? Let's see what we got here. Okay, yeah, 59. Hey, we're coming right up on an hour. So that's the end result. Not too bad, not too good. That's the first time I've ever carved a deer anything. So I'm happy with it. Not too bad. By the time it painted, it looked pretty good. I'm pretty happy. But I'm easy to please, you know what I mean? And it's so bright. I'll show you. It's just so bright on Sunday mornings that I decided it's different since I was doing that relief carving anyway. And I closed the tent. I got the lights on. But close the tent and hide in there because it just seems like I'm always fighting against the shade versus too bright and shadowing my stuff out. And so that's why I did it the way I did it this morning. Went in there in the shanty and pulled the tent cover closed. But anyhow, things just went pretty good. Guys, I appreciate y'all being in here. We're going to get ready and get up to the Pirate Festival today. Got to be back up there by 11. Not that I'm in any kind of hurry at all. I still got 2 hours, though. It's not even 9 o'clock my time, but getting pretty close to it. But I appreciate y'all being in here. And we'll be back on Tuesday. Creation Dust 777 will be back on Wednesday, so keep an eye out for him as well. And, of course, Thursday. And Dylan's Handmade Woodworking has a live with a very special guest this week. And we'll be glad to see her. So that's pretty awesome. And we'll leave you guys alone. Appreciate you watching. Come back when you can stay later, you schmuck.